This is my dog. This is Teddy. Okay, gonna film now. Hey guys, welcome to the video. Mixed by Jocelyn here, and I'm going to show you how you can bounce your stems properly to send to your engineer or your artist. Let's get cracking.
Okay, cool. Excuse the outfit change. I went to the gym halfway through recording this, so yeah, that explains that.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
Basically, what you want to do is open up your track that you want to export the stems for. This is mine. We're going to be exporting Clue's track, Suge Knight. And basically, the first thing you want to do is you want to get this bar up here and you want to highlight everything that you want exporting. So in this case, it's up until the beat stems finish. Ignore this. This is just like a rough demo that we did, but this is everything that we want to export. So once you've highlighted everything up here, then what you want to do is you want to highlight all of the individual parts that you want to bring as well, just to make sure that everything's going to get batched out together. The reason why we're doing this is to make sure that when we bounce the stems, it bounces in time. So when you give it to your engineer or an artist that you're working with or a producer, when they bring the stems into their track, it's all going to be in time and they're not going to have to like spend hours trying to piece it together and get it right. So we can click and drag and highlight everything that we want. Alternatively, we can hit Command A and it will highlight everything in the track. There's a little shortcut for you. Once that's done, we want to go up to File, scroll down to Export, and then go to All Tracks as Audio File. Click that and then this box pops up. Now what we want to do is we want to set where we're putting our files to, because it's quite important to make sure that your file management is on point for this. So when you go to send them, you can just click and drag and it's all organized, ready for the engineer or producer or artist, whoever's working on it. So I'm just going to save it to the desktop for now. So click desktop. And then we're going to go here, new folder. You want to make sure you put it into a folder because we're going to bounce numerous stems and it will just go all over the desktop. And, you know, it's not one file that we're bouncing however many tracks are in this project. I'm just going to call this Clue Stems. And then you can call it dry or wet, depending on if you're bouncing it with or without effects on. Hit create, and then we'll come here. And I make sure the range is export cycle range only. So that is going to mean that it's going to export that's highlighted in the orange, which is our cycle range, which is going to make sure that it's going to start at 1 and finish just after 69. It's going to make sure all the stems are in perfect timing. So once we've done that, we want to make sure the format is WAV. Bitrate, we're going to go 24. And then here, this is the important bit. So if you're sending it to an engineer or if you're sending it to me, for instance, I'm going to want no effects on the track because I'm going to add all of that stuff on myself. I'm going to remix this song for you. But then if you're sending it to a producer and that, you might want to keep the effects on. So this here either will, with it unticked, it will keep it wet with all the effects that you've put on it already. If you tick this box, it's going to take all the plugins off and send it dry, which is, you know, if you're sending it to an engineer, as I said, that's probably the best way to send it. This tick box here is basically, if I was to tick that, it's going to include all the volume and panning that I've set in my mix, and it's going to print that. And then when you put in the mix, and then when I put it into another project, it's already going to have all the mix levels. Again, if you're sending it to an engineer, you don't want that on because they're going to want to set it all themselves. So this will basically put everything up to 0, create a flat line for the engineer to start again. Normalization, ideally you want to turn it off, but if you're a bit worried that you've got some peaks and maybe things are distorting, put on the overload protection. But I normally like to keep it off because I make sure everything's leveled before I bounce the stems. Once all that stuff's set, you can literally just click export. It will take a little minute to export the stems depending on how fast your computer is and how big the project is. So I'll just speed this bit up.
A few moments later.
Okay, sweet. Once that's done, we just want to go over to where we save the files and make sure they're all there. So we go down to desktop, and then here is the file that we created. Just click that, and then there's all of our stems now. I'm just going to create a new project just so I can show you what it looks like when you re-export these stems in.
2,000 years later.
Okay, so I've created a new project. And then if we come here, so this is, say you've sent this to your engineer, he's going to open this up. He's going to drag all of these in, drag it into Logic. We're going to go create new tracks. Let this export in. There you go. I'm going to highlight everything. Command A to highlight again. Drag it to number 1. there's all of our stems. As you can see, they're all in time. They all start at 1 and finish. And then as you can see there, that's them all printing into the project. If I just grab this, pull this down so it doesn't absolutely burst our eardrums, give you a little taste to make sure that it is in time.
Deliveries or the pushback. God, you look like the type that...
So as you can see, it is all in time. It doesn't sound amazing because, as I said, we bypassed all the plugins, which is how your engineer is going to want it. But everything's there, ready to be mixed or to be edited or however you need to do it. So that is how you bounce stems in Logic Pro X, the most efficient way anyway.
Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you found that informative. If you did, please give it a like below. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or if you have any ideas for any future videos or any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Other than that, I hope you have a wicked day and I'll see you in the next one. Safe.